welcome to the Nonsensical Podcast. This is episode 9.
All right, everybody, welcome into the Nonsensical Podcast. Two hot guys with even hotter views. Now, I'm your co-host, Sam Wilkerson. I'm going to pass it over to the other co-host, Nate Hassan.
Hey guys, welcome in. So we do have a new rating on Apple Podcasts, another 5-star review. So thank you, whoever did that. No new reviews. So if you guys want to leave us a review, we would appreciate it. And actually, we are doing a giveaway right now. So that is the next announcement. We are doing a big giveaway of a $20 gift card of the winner's choosing. But to get that gift card, you have to get entries to the giveaway. And one of the ways to do that is leaving those reviews. So go leave us those reviews on Apple. Can also get entries by sharing a social media post or adding people to our Discord. But we will probably pull that around Christmas time, maybe a little later, depending on how busy we are. But sometime around the Christmas, New Year's, holidays, and we will announce a winner around that time. Along with that, follow us on social media. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and then we actually have 2 new social media accounts we are announcing today. So Parler and Rumble, if you guys have heard of them. Parler is not the conspiracy app that you hear about in the media. It's just an unbiased social media source. So it's not these conspiracy theorists and crazy people. It's just people looking to not be censored. So follow us on Parler, follow us on Rumble, which I guess is an alternative to YouTube. Sam knows more about that than I am. I do.
I don't know much about it, so I think we're in the same boat.
But go check us out on those.
On Parler, it's at We Are Nonsensical. On Rumble, The Nonsensical Podcast.
Gotcha. And I think it's Nonsensical Podcast on the others. There might be a number after our Twitter one, but if you find Samurai on social media, you can probably find our accounts.
Or if you join our Discord, it's all in there.
That is true.
Yeah.
Awesome. So this is going to be our special Thanksgiving episode, and this should be out on Thanksgiving Day, which is tomorrow, I guess. Thought that came up really fast. But this should be out. You guys should be hearing us on Thanksgiving Day, or I guess you could be listening to it later on, but this should be out Thanksgiving Day. So we're going to cover some Thanksgiving stuff today.
Yes, we are. And we'll start with, of course, Thanksgiving foods. So, Nate, what is your favorite Thanksgiving food?
So, this is going to sound weird. It's kind of goes into our next section about traditions, but my favorite Thanksgiving food really isn't a Thanksgiving food. It's like a summery food. But when we had Thanksgiving at my aunt's house before they moved down to Florida, she wasn't really related to me, but I think it was my aunt's grandma or aunt or something like that. Anyway, she would make this rhubarb pie. And like I said, I know rhubarb pie is not a Thanksgiving food, but that was the only time of the year I got homemade rhubarb pie. So I love rhubarb pie. I've actually been finding it more this year. I've gone to Amish country to get it and found it some other places, but that is my favorite Thanksgiving food. At our Thanksgiving, outside of that, if I had to pick a normal one, it'd probably be maybe like a sweet potato dessert type thing.
What is a rhubarb? I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
It's a root, like ginger or something like that. Yeah, well...
What does it taste like?
It's really tart. It's like a rhubarb. Usually you'll see like strawberry rhubarb, because rhubarb on its own isn't the greatest flavor. It's just sour. That's all you really taste. Strawberry rhubarb, imagine like you know what a Granny Smith apple tastes like, right?
Yeah.
Granny Smith apple, but tastes like strawberry. That's what it tastes like. That tartness and that like refreshing crispness that apple has, but obviously with strawberries most of the time. So.
Okay. All right. I guess I can imagine that.
Next time you come up to Ohio, I'll get you one.
Oh, yeah. I have to go pick me a rhubarb from the Amish.
Yep. Fun fact. Sorry. Go ahead. I keep hitting.
No, please, you go. No, go ahead.
Fun fact. Ohio has more Amish people than anywhere in the world.
Yeah, they're scary too.
Yep. Yeah, some of them are some sketchy people. Sorry if anyone's listening, Amish.
I'm not sorry. Whenever I went up there for Nate's bachelor party, we went to one of the sporting goods stores, and there was a whole like gang of them walking out to their car, and one of them was just staring me down. And I told Nate, I've never been more intimidated by somebody in a straw hat. It was a fearful moment. So my favorite Thanksgiving food. I see we're about to talk about desserts, so I won't say what would really truly probably be my favorite because it's a dessert. So I'm gonna go with it's an even tie between sweet potato casserole and chicken and dumplings.
Chicken and dumplings. Is that a Thanksgiving food? A Southern Thanksgiving food?
You never had chicken and dumplings?
No.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to change that whenever you come down here.
We eat a lot of turkey up here for Thanksgiving, which I thought was normal, and ham. We do ham a lot too. Turkey and ham are the two big ones.
Huh.
Do you guys not do that down there?
Turkey and ham?
Either one, yeah.
Yeah, we do turkey and ham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have turkey, ham, sweet potato casserole, sweet potato pie, chicken and dumplings. I'm trying to think what else we have. I'm sure I'm missing dressing. Okay, yeah. We can talk about this. What do you put in dressing?
Cranberries and...
You put the cranberries in the dressing, or you just eat it on top?
Oh, you're talking about stuffing.
I'm talking...
Stuffing.
Yeah.
You're talking about stuffing. Yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, no. I've had it. So actually, that... I just remembered something. That might be my favorite Thanksgiving food. Another relative on my aunt's side that isn't technically related to me, when we have Thanksgiving there, they make a oyster stuffing, and oh my gosh, it's so good. Sam's giving me a weird look. It is so good. Listen, it doesn't taste like it's really.
That might be the most blasphemous thing you've ever said.
Oh my gosh. It's good. I promise.
What's going to get us canceled one day?
Oyster stuffing. No, it is good, but no, like we'll put cranberries in ours. We put I don't know. That's really the.
Well, you put cranberries in it or on it?
Yeah.
And
not every time, but that's something you'll see in Ohio. And I'm trying to think of the other types of stuffing we have up here. We're pretty generic with our stuffing. It's not really a big part of our meals.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty big thing for us. The dressing and the turkey, ham. I mean, a lot of people down here do mac and cheese, but
ooh, that'd be good. Actually, Jess and I bought some mac and cheese for Thanksgiving. We're going to her grandma's sister, something like that, and we're taking mac and cheese. So
yeah, that's big for a lot of people, but not really for us. We'd have never done it. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. How do you do your ham?
Usually we'll have. Well, this is usually again. This is the first year we'll be not at Mike and Kathy's because they moved down to Tampa or Clearwater, I guess. Same thing. But usually we would have 2 turkeys and a ham, and one of the turkeys and the ham were both smoked, and then the other turkey was fried like the average turkey.
Yeah. So you like your ham sweet or salty?
Sweet, for sure. Ham I like sweet. Oh, yeah. Turkey I could eat it either way, but ham I like sweet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my grandma used to do ham, and she would do like a brown sugar.
Oh yeah, that's good.
She would put cherries and pineapples all over it. Oh, it was great. It was great.
An interesting one. Cranberry stuff we'll mix. We'll have, like our, like the cranberry dressing you're supposed to put on. Not dressing, what you're talking about. The cranberry, I guess you might call it sauce, what you put on the turkey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't put it on the turkey, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Well, I put it on I put it on all the meat. Anyways, it's our cranberry. Sometimes we'll have pineapple in and marshmallows and lots of sweet stuff like that. Not marshmallows, not as much. That's a different dessert, but pineapple and cranberry and stuff like that.
I'm going to say a prayer for you Ohioans tonight that you learn how to eat one day.
We like good food up here. I'm sorry your food sucks down in this stuff.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if you're still singing that tune once you come down here.
We might not have the same amount of southern fried barbecue stuff that you guys do, but we got a lot of different food. Like, you can find a pizza. You've been up here. You can find a pizza place every 2 minutes in Ohio. Like, literally every town, no matter how small it is, even if there's 20 people, has a pizza place. There's pizza everywhere in Ohio. Pizza and hamburgers.
There's that. So I guess we'll go to least favorite food. I think this one's going to be harder for me because I don't think I have a least favorite food. So I'll let you go first.
Oh, man. Least favorite. You're probably going to hate me, but probably the stuffing. It's just not something that I love. Take it or leave it, you know? It's not that it's my least favorite. It's just like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Except for the oyster one. The oyster one is good, but besides that, it's fine.
Ooh.
Coleslaw, I guess. Sometimes we'll make coleslaw for it. That's okay too, but
Okay. Yeah. Never had it before, but I'm gonna say my least favorite is that oyster stuffing just because it repulses.
Oh my gosh.
No. I guess if I had to go with one, I can't really say that any of them are my least favorite because I'll eat just about everything that we make. But just because it's not like something special, I guess I'd have to go with.
Hey, you're
rolls.
Really. Oh my gosh. For some reason, I keep hearing like a fuzzy feedback every couple seconds of you talking.
It's probably a clock. Is it still doing it?
No. I hear the clock. There's feedback coming from your mic or something. I don't know. Just make sure everything's plugged in correctly. Maybe.
Yeah, it's plugged in.
Oh well. Yes, I understand. We
maybe
always have
one day
Hawaiian
whenever
rolls.
I get a real mic, it'll work.
We always have Hawaiian rolls. So that's not my least favorite part.
Oh yeah, I mean we have Hawaiian rolls, but yeah, I mean that's still I still like it. That's just like the least. That's just the least special thing we have.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I mean, I guess we have pecan pie a lot, so I guess I could say that's one of the lesser special. You don't like pecan?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm a pie guy, I think, more than a cake guy, but pecan pie, you say pecan, I say pecan. It's fine. I mean, I don't like the flavor as much. I'd rather have pumpkin pie. Plain old pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Or
I tried a new recipe for a pumpkin pie this week.
Like you made it?
Last week. Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah. It was pretty good. It had sweetened condensed milk in it. It was sweet. Really sweet. I mean, it's usually sweet, but it was sweeter.
Jess has been making these pumpkin cookies. She's making them again today. It'll be the third time in the last 3 weeks she's made these. But they taste a lot like pumpkin pie. They're just in a cookie format. So they're really soft, but they're really good. This time she's putting peppermint in them.
Ooh, I like a peppermint cookie. You can't beat a good peppermint cookie. So, that's a good transition here. So let's talk about best dessert.
Eggnog.
You did that on purpose, didn't you?
No.
Right.
You can go first. I'm trying to think. I already said the yams, and I don't want to say that again.
I'm gonna go with chocolate pie.
Chocolate pie.
I knew.
I'm not a chocolate person. No, I'm not a. I have. I'm not a chocolate person though, so I'm biased.
I really thought I might get you a chocolate pie. I didn't know if you would know what it was.
I'm Ohioan. I'm not uncultured, Sam.
No, I take it back. Not chocolate. It's made the same way, but it's not chocolate pie. It's butterscotch pie. It's the same thing.
I can imagine what that tastes like. I don't know if I've had that one.
With she would do homemade pudding, and so we would get to the point. I would always help her, and it would either be chocolate or butterscotch, and we would decide. So we would brown the sugar, or we would put the cocoa powder in.
I see.
So they're the same thing to me, but they're two different things in reality.
I like butterscotch a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, her homemade butterscotch pudding was amazing. My mom says she can't make it, but she really can.
Oh, Wendy.
Yeah.
My favorite dessert. So I said the yams. Usually when we make some sort of yam dessert, it has like marshmallows and stuff like that mixed in. I don't know if that's just a northern thing or what, but marshmallows and brown sugar and whatever else. Sweet potatoes. If you know what yam is a sweet potato, right?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you guys called them yams down there. I know some people don't know that.
We actually call them sweet taters, usually misspelled.
I think it depends on how you make them up here. So if you're making it into something sweet, we usually call them yams. If you're making it into if you're just grilling them with some spices, we'll call it a sweet potato. Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, it's wrong, but it makes sense.
Whatever. Anyways, besides that dessert, I've had some really good bread pudding, and I know that's not necessarily a Thanksgiving thing, but for some reason I've had it at multiple Thanksgivings. Not my own, but like when I've gone to other people's, that's I guess a normal thing. I don't know. Pumpkin pie is not one that I can really pass up. I don't really have a favorite. Literally any dessert is good to me. As long as it's not like chocolate cake or chocolate ice cream, I'll probably eat it. Even like chocolate pie, I don't mind it. It's just not my favorite.
Whenever you say chocolate pie or chocolate cake, do you mean like the cake part chocolate or the icing part chocolate or both? Like if it were a butter cake with a chocolate icing, would you dislike it, or is it just the chocolate cake part you don't like?
For the most part, I don't like either. But I will say if it's a really like moist chocolate cake, it's really good. I like it. I just don't like, for some reason, I don't like when there's a dry chocolate chip. I don't know. But
understandable.
Jess's grandma, oh my gosh, she makes this chocolate cake. I forget what you know what she calls it, and I don't know if we need to censor this or not, but she calls it better than sex cake.
Oh.
It is it is like, it's chocolate cake, but it is like mixed with caramel, so it is like ridiculously moist.
Oh, wow.
And then there's maybe a little bit of molasses in there and some chunks of like, I don't know, it's real good. But that is I think we might have had that Thanksgiving once. I don't know. That's a good one too.
Well done. Well,
Thanksgiving traditions.
Thanksgiving traditions. I'll let you take this first.
You want me to knock out like all of those?
Yeah, just run down the gambit and then.
Okay. So just a generic story of what we do. Okay. So again, this year is going to be weird. Not only because Mike and Kathy are in Clearwater, but also because I'm married now. So things will be different. But usually what we would do is we would go to my Aunt Mike and Kathy's, which is like 2 minutes from my parents' house, just on Headley's Mill. We would go there around noonish. We would meet up with Mike and Kathy and then like 10-ish other people, including like Fig and Francine, which I think are Kathy's aunt and grandma or something. I don't know. I mean, it's usually about 10 people, but outside of Mike and Kathy, most of them were not my relatives. It was just my immediate family and Mike and Kathy. And I guess what I do after eating. After we ate Thanksgiving, we would hang out for a while, play some games like card games and board games and stuff, watch whatever NFL game was on that day, and then eat Thanksgiving dinner again. So we'll have 2 Thanksgivings that day. Just leftovers, but that was usually what we would do. And then we'd head home and get ready for Black Friday, go to bed early. Although last year, I will say, because Black Friday keeps changing, we went out right after Mike and Kathy's last year and didn't get home until like 5 a.m.
That sounds like a pretty full day. My Thanksgiving isn't that full. We had it at my grandparents' house before. Like 2 years ago, my grandma died. And before that, we had it at their house. Now we have it at our house. Thanksgiving lunch, at least. And so we'll have my mom's side of the family over all to our house.
Gotcha.
And we eat. Then we'll sit and clean up the kitchen and talk. I'm trying to think what else we do. I don't know. That's pretty much it. They leave and I get a nice quiet house. We've gone Black Friday shopping in the past, but
Have you?
Yep.
I like Black Friday shopping a lot. That's not one that we actually have written down, but maybe we can cover that at the end of this segment.
Yeah. Yep.
Any other traditions you guys have?
Not really. No, I'm trying to think. My mom does Christmas spirit bags.
What is that?
Like Christmas stuff. She'll give it to us like a Christmas shirt and some ornaments and stuff. Kind of like.
Gotcha. Just getting ready for Christmas or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I call Thanksgiving Christmas Junior now because she decorates the house. Like we decorated our entire house yesterday for Christmas. I said, "Why are you doing this? We're having Thanksgiving here." Well, it needs to be.
Why are you doing
Thanksgiving? We're not celebrating Christmas on Thursday. We're celebrating Thanksgiving.
Do you guys put lights out for Christmas? This is off topic, but
like outside lights?
Yeah.
No, we have like a 1/4 mile long driveway, so nobody can see our house from the road. So it's pointless. Yeah, we have. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's kind of what my family did too. When I was really young, we used to do it, but nowadays we literally we bought these. I think they're some sort of like stoplight or something, but basically they sit in front of our house and they've got this super powerful bulb and it just turns our entire house red and green. And then we bought one of those cheap like $20 things you buy at CVS that you stick in the ground and it shoots little sparkles all over your house with different Christmas colors and stuff. You know what I mean? Have you seen those?
Oh yeah. It took me a minute to understand what you meant, but yeah, I got it.
And it covers the house and it's only like $10 a year, so it's real cheap. But no, our house was so far away from the driveway, we never did that either. Maybe eventually I'll start doing my house here now that I moved out, but
get you a giant inflatable.
Oh my gosh, I'm not one of those people.
Whenever, well, I guess you'll be here after all of that. I was going to say I could show you this stuff, but we have a big thing in my hometown. We do, there's Candy Cane Lane and Christmas Card Drive, I think. I don't know. They call them different things. But they take and do like these huge wooden Christmas cards and put them out in their front yard.
Oh my gosh. No, I'll tell you what I want in my front yard that's big and wooden. I've seen around Ohio.
I need to hear about this.
Oh my gosh. Around Ohio, for some reason, you'll see these giant like silhouettes of a Sasquatch that people will hang on their trees and stuff and just like put in the middle of their yard. That's what I want. Like an 8-foot one of those. So at night when someone drives by and they see it, they're like, "Ah."
Well, what else do we have here? We've got
before we hit that last one, because that's a different topic. Why don't we talk about Black Friday, since I forgot to add that in here?
I'm sorry. So something started playing in my headphones. So I don't know what you said.
I said before we hit that last one, why don't we cover Black Friday? I forgot to put that.
Oh yeah, we can talk about Black Friday.
Yeah, I guess, do you go?
Are
Black
places
Friday
even having Black Friday this year?
I think lots of places are, but in Ohio they're not, because Mike DeWine has a curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So we're not allowed to leave our houses.
Because COVID only comes out at night.
Exactly. So dumb.
Yeah.
Do you guys usually go Black Friday shopping? You said you'd have before.
Normally. Yeah. Usually we do. This year we're not, because we've already gotten everything pretty much.
Gotcha.
And we don't have as much disposable income this year, so don't have as much to spend on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we usually will go down. We have a friend that has a condo in Gulf Shores. So the last couple years we've gone down to Gulf Shores, stayed with her, and we'll go to the outlet mall down there.
Is that on the water or something?
Oh, Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Gotcha.
I'm used to.
I don't know geography down there super well, so.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody listening from down here would know but
yeah,
I
the
forget.
Ohioans will not.
I forget you weirdos up in Ohio don't know about it.
Yeah. We usually go Black Friday shopping around here. Now that you've seen Ohio, there's a mall every 10 minutes up the road. So Black Friday is a huge thing here in Ohio. And then it's not as bad as you've seen it. Like, you've seen videos of people getting trampled and stuff like that. And I mean, sometimes it's that packed and that crazy and people will be running all over the place. I've seen people get decked in Walmart because they try and take something and someone else wants it. But that's really the reason I go, just to people watch. That's the best part, honestly. Really, like, the only thing I ever buy on Black Friday, I'll go to Walmart to watch people, and I'll buy like 10 of the $5 movie or the $1 movies or whatever, because sometimes they're really new stuff and they're good. But like, it's not something I have to race people for or anything like that. It's just fun to watch people and to be a part of it.
Yeah.
You know, my mom always goes to Bath and Body because, fun fact, for anyone listening who likes Bath and Body or White Barn, on Black Friday they will accept as many coupons as you want. So usually my mom will go and get like $400 worth of Bath and Body stuff for like $60. So you can stack all of your coupons on Black Friday.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yep. So you can take like $50 off, take 50% off, take 20, like all of the coupons you get. They can't be expired. They have to be current. But like a week before Black Friday, they'll send out a whole sheet of them. So.
Wow. That is useful knowledge.
Tell Wendy. I'm sure you don't care, but.
Yeah, I'll tell her. I mean, I love their candles.
I do too. I should specify. I like the stress relief stuff a lot. I stress relief everything.
Cool.
Body wash, lotion, candles, room spray, everything.
Gosh.
Not that I need to relieve stress. I just like the smell. The eucalyptus is what I like. Eucalyptus mint or something like that. I don't know.
Yep. Spearmint eucalyptus, usually.
They have a new one that's very similar, but it's instead of like eucalyptus mint, it's maybe eucalyptus vanilla, or I don't know. It still smells pretty good. It's just not the same.
Got your little eucalyptus trip. All right, so I guess let's talk about this last point. I'll let you take it. You know what? It looks like you got all the facts here, and I'll just agree.
All right.
You go ahead and just spill the facts.
So I told Sam before this, I was watching Steven Crowder, and I got inspired to type this out real quick because he was doing the same bit on YouTube. So if you guys want to go watch that, it's about an hour long on YouTube. Just search up what I'm about to say. But is Thanksgiving racist is the title of what I'm saying here. So usually the arguments you hear are, hey, Thanksgiving racist is because the settlers came here, they stole the land, they killed a bunch of people, they committed genocide, they like wiped the Indians off the area, all of these awful things that, granted, some of them are partially true or somewhat correct, but you never really hear the other side of it. And a lot of times in school and in college, you're taught like, oh, we did these awful things. We drove them out of their land. They were these peaceful people. They wanted peace. They didn't want anything. When in reality, it wasn't necessarily that way. I mean, it was a war. They're the loser of a war. So first point on the fact that we stole their land. So the example you always hear is, oh, we stole their land. And the easiest way to see that is is it Manhattan? Is that the island? I think it's Manhattan. They say we sold Manhattan for
Manhattan Project.
No. The island of Manhattan. They sold the island of Manhattan to the settlers, and they always say they paid a certain amount for it. I can't remember what currency they use, but you always hear, oh, it's worth about $10 or something like that. In reality, if you go through the conversions and you read on it, it's actually about the equivalent of 10,000 pelts. So it is a significant amount of money. It wasn't just like, hey, here's a stick, go run off and get out of my area. You know what I mean? Like it was a good amount of money that they gave them. They just didn't necessarily agree with that when it came to coming back later on. But that's kind of the first point. The second point was the supposed genocide. So you'll always hear like, oh, they came over and the settlers killed 50% of the native population, which is correct. But part of that 50% is from the diseases, so it wasn't all just settlers killing the natives. And the other side of that, like I said, it was a war. So they actually killed about 30% of the settlers. So it wasn't genocide by definition. It was more so just the fact that they lost a war, and that's the casualties of war. I mean, you can look at other wars in history and see the results of that and how that played out as well. But for some reason, Americans have this skewed idea that, oh, we committed genocide, we killed so many Native Americans, and the settlers did kill a lot of Americans. Don't get me wrong, or Native Americans. Don't get me wrong, but it was because we were in a war and they were scalping the settlers and they were raping and pillaging villages and killing other Native Americans. And that's another point that people don't realize, that it wasn't just the settlers against the natives. It was the settlers helping some natives because they saw these other villages getting destroyed and the women and children being raped and just the awful things going on with that. So in conclusion to that big rant, Thanksgiving is not racist. It was my point. And if you want more proof on it and the actual articles to all of that, you can go to Stephen Crowder's YouTube page and find that. But just to conclude this Thanksgiving part before someone says, why are you talking about a racist holiday? That is my little bit there. So
you know what? It sounds like you got all the facts there. I won't disagree with you. It's definitely not because I didn't hear any of that, because I had to take a phone call.
Yeah, I saw Sam on the phone, so I just kept going, but it's fine.
Yeah, sorry. I had a job interview today, and it just got moved, so it actually works out great for me.
Where at?
It's a law firm down here in Hattiesburg. They need somebody to do some accounting work. So
Cool.
Hopefully it'll work out.
Is it like a part-time job, or?
Yeah, this would be like 20 hours a week, working on my schedule kind of thing. So
that's pretty good, though.
That is good, yeah.
Just to get your foot in the door, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Get a little bit of experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so what do we have next?
We're moving on. Yep. We're moving on a bit from Thanksgiving and talking football again.
Yep. Oh, yeah, football again. Just about every week. I think we found a way to fit football in just about every week.
It's fine. Everyone loves football,
just about every recording. Even the Halloween recording, we talked about Trevor Lawrence having COVID.
Football. Well, that was breaking news. Give me a break.
It was breaking news, but it came out like 4 days later. So by the time anybody else heard it, it wasn't breaking news.
Oh, my gosh. It's okay. This one's being released tomorrow, so hopefully everything's up to date.
Yeah, this one's going to be a fast turnaround. We were supposed to record last night, but Nate's wife decided it was Christmas time.
Yep. We actually didn't put anything up. She ended up being exhausted. Yeah, no. We watched a Christmas movie, but we're putting the tree up in a little bit.
Close enough.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So I guess it's only rivalry week for the SEC.
Yeah, Sam, before this podcast, Sam's like, oh, it's rivalry week. I'm like, what? No, it's not. Because
it feels weird.
Well, I mean, the reason that I didn't realize, Florida doesn't play Georgia on rivalry week. That's the thing. And outside of Florida, I'm not super into the SEC. Like, I am an SEC fan, don't get me wrong, because I'm a Gators fan. But outside of Florida, I really couldn't care less about rivalry week in the SEC alone. So, and Oklahoma, Texas played last week, right? The Red River rivalry, that was called?
No, that was Bedlam was last week. That was Oklahoma State. Oh, Red River rivalry was earlier in the season.
Yeah.
What is it now? It's not Red River rivalry, and it's not the shootout. Showdown? Red River Show? I don't know. They keep changing
Red River
every third year. Red River something. So what's the Florida and Georgia already played, didn't they? Well, I thought that was their big rivalry.
They did, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Because they already played, they usually play early, so I don't think they even changed the date of that game. I could be totally wrong. Well, they definitely changed it because everything got pushed back a couple weeks. But
so what is Florida? Is Florida's rivalry usually Florida State?
Georgia. Georgia's their biggest one.
But I'm saying, what's their rivalry week rival? In a normal year, this would be rivalry week. Yeah,
we usually play FSU, and that's another one of our rivals. But because they're ACC, we're not.
Yeah, because they can't play out of conference. Yeah. Neither of those want to do out of conference. So
I think if you talk to the average Gators fan, they're going to hate Georgia more. So that would be our biggest quote rivalry game.
Yeah.
But that's played at a neutral site in Jacksonville. So it's not like it's a big home game or anything. I guess it kind of is because it's in Florida. But.
Where's Florida then?
Florida? Gainesville.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought it was in Jacksonville.
Heck no. Jacksonville has is USF there? One of the hold on. Let me tell you. One of the bigger Florida schools is there. I just can't think of who it is. Colleges in Jacksonville. Jacksonville has, I could be wrong. I don't see any of these that look like big name schools. Yeah, no, ignore me. No, there's no school in Jacksonville besides Jacksonville State.
Jacksonville State, that's in Alabama.
No, that's Jackson State.
No, that's Jacksonville State. It's in Jacksonville, Alabama. Yeah.
Okay, well, Jacksonville State is in
That's what I was about to say. I actually said it while my mic was muted, and I was about to say, oh, okay, they do have a Florida State College at Jacksonville. Okay. All right, I'm about to send you the actual Jacksonville State because Southern played them not too long ago, like a couple years ago, I think.
While you're doing that, the two rivalry games that we do have. So we have Auburn-Bama this week. We have Mississippi State-Ole Miss, which is probably near and dear to your heart, Sam.
Oh, the Egg Bowl?
Yeah, being an Ole Miss fan, you know.
Oh my gosh. Heresy. Absolute heresy. Yeah, no. I'm not really a fan of either, but I really dislike Ole Miss.
I don't mind Ole Miss. Who's their quarterback this year? I know they have a decent quarterback. They've been putting some offensive numbers up.
He's from Oak Grove. He's from right around where I am. What's his name?
Hold on, let me tell you.
I can't remember.
Ole Miss quarterback. Matt Corral, something like that. Yeah, that's his name.
Maybe that's not the one I was thinking of.
John Wright. John Plumlee.
He's John whatever Rees, John Davy Rees or something. Yeah, he's from Oak Grove, which, I don't think I have anybody from really around here listening to this, so I can say this. I don't like Oak Grove. I think they're kind of a... I'm just not their biggest fan.
I see your message.
Oak Grove is, Jacksonville State, Alabama.
I believe I've heard of them. I just thought it was Jackson. I guess Jackson.
I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anybody. There's Jackson, Mississippi, Jackson State. We got Jack State. Neon Deion Sanders is the head coach now.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Is that where he went to school?
I don't think so. I know his son's about to go there. His son decommitted from, I can't remember where he was committed at, but he ended up there. But yeah. Let's see, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Ole Miss and State. So I'm not a big State fan. My mom is. My mom went to State, and so State and Southern is like a minor rivalry. Like it's not a big rivalry. We don't play every year, but it's fun because I go to USM. She went to State, so we kind of go back and forth about it. But definitely in the Egg Bowl, I come down hard on the State side. But I'm just not very hopeful about it this year. I think it's going to be fun to watch Lane Kiffin and Mike Leach showdown.
Yeah,
but, I'm glad they've got two, pretty high-profile coaches in the state. Three now with Deion Sanders.
Yep. I'm trying to find the line for that game, like the spread or something like that, but I don't see anything. I found our prediction, I guess, but that's not really what I wanted. Ole Miss 34, Mississippi State 24, which sounds about accurate to me. That's I expect Ole Miss to win by at least a touchdown, but no more than 2.
I don't know if you watched the one last year, but it was absolutely pitiful because they were both terrible.
They were both really bad last year. Ole Miss is looking better this year. Probably. I watch pretty much every football game every week.
The only reason that State won was because that Ole Miss receiver did the He scored the touchdown and then he waltzed like a dog and acted like he was peeing on the goalpost.
Oh my god!
Which was a big old unsportsmanlike conduct flag.
Oh my god!
And then, so they backed up the extra point, and their kicker missed.
And they missed it. Yep.
Yep, and that's the only reason State won. So it's been huge. Like the last year has been people making fun of this guy because it's I think it was maybe DK Metcalf.
Oh yeah, DK Metcalf.
There was one of them. One of the big receivers was the first one to do it. Maybe it wasn't Metcalf. Maybe it was, I don't know. But they did it, the first time they did it was like a few years ago, and apparently it's been a quote-unquote tradition.
Oh my
but
gosh.
They get unsportsmanlike conduct every time they do it, and this time it just cost them big. But yeah, last year the game was awful. It was, I can't remember the final score last year, but it was something really low. Probably 0-2. You know,
it's
weird.
It's going to be awful, I think.
Oh yeah, no, that's going to be a blowout. You know,
I
want
over under. Here you go. Over under 80 points scored.
Oh my gosh.
Total.
You're asking me. You're asking me.
Under.
Total. I'm gonna go with over.
You think
I
so?
think it's gonna be a huge blowout. Yeah.
That's high enough that I would say under. I think Auburn is not the greatest, but I think their defense is good enough to keep Bama from scoring 70 points on them. And I think their offense is good enough to score at least a touchdown or two, but I don't know if it'll be 80 points total. I don't know. That's just my.
I want it to be 80 points. I want it to be. I want an exciting game this year.
I want Auburn to beat Bama, and then Auburn would go to this.
You only want that.
I would have to play Auburn.
You want two things so that Ohio State will end up at number one, and I know exactly which two things that is going to be.
Hey, I'm a Florida fan more than an Ohio State fan. Don't forget.
Oh, you just want – that's the other thing. You just want Florida to end up in there.
No, honestly, I think I'd rather play Bama in the SEC championship game because it's going to look better for us than Auburn. And if something happens and Bama loses a game, it would not look as good for us because we already have one loss to Texas A&M. I don't know. As a Florida fan, I'm worried. We have to beat Bama in the SEC championship game and win out. That's what has to happen. But we're going to the championship game, I guess, no matter what, unless we lose both of our next games.
Winning out shouldn't be much of a challenge, should it?
No, I think. Well, we have LSU rescheduled at the end of the season, which isn't a challenge. This week we had Vandy last week. Who do we have this week? I think we still have to play Tennessee at some point. Hold on.
Oh boy, there's your challenge. Tennessee.
Florida plays Kentucky this week. That's right. Tennessee next week, and then the week after is the makeup game with LSU because we had to cancel because of a hurricane.
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of those this year.
Yep.
A lot of canceling for hurricanes.
We would have to lose 2 of those 3 games to not make it to the SEC championship game. As long as we win 2, we're good. I mean, if we lose 1, then we're out of the playoff race. But we're going to the SEC championship game pretty much no matter what at this point.
You and Bama.
Stupid Bama. Anyways, so along the same lines with college football and the playoff rankings, good transition. First week of rankings came out this week. I put that link there if you haven't seen it yet, but I will read it to the listeners so they can hear it. So,
oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize earlier. This is going to be a little bit of inside baseball because before the podcast, me and Nate were talking. I didn't realize it was the exact same link I sent as what you had put in the doc.
Yep.
I didn't realize. I thought it was a different link.
So here's the rankings. I suppose I'll read them all. It won't take that long. So top 4, Bama 1, Notre Dame 2, Clemson 3, Ohio State 4. 5 through 10 is 5 A&M, 6 Florida, 7 Cincy, 8 Northwestern, 9 Georgia, 10 Miami. And then to finish that out, it's Oklahoma at 11, Indiana at 12, Iowa State at 13, BYU at 14, Oregon at 15, Wisconsin at 16, Texas at 17, USC at 18, UNC, North Carolina, 19, 20s Coastal, 21 is Marshall, 22 is Auburn, 23 is Oklahoma State, 24 is Iowa, and 25 is Tulsa. Okay. First question.
To figure out why did BYU drop?
So listen, no. That's one of the things we're going to talk about. I guess we can hit that one first. BYU didn't drop. This is the first week of the rankings. So BYU is over in the AP coaches poll and the what is the other one? Amway, whatever the other poll is. But that's one of our points. So the big thing from these rankings, there's a couple of them, but one of them is BYU disrespect is what they're calling us. They're saying that BYU isn't respected as they should be because they're an undefeated team and they'll probably win their conference. What are your thoughts on that?
On BYU getting shafted on that?
Yeah.
I mean, they aren't exactly in a super competitive. I mean, they're not in a conference at all, are they? They're independent.
I think they're technically independent, but as of this year, they're playing in American or something like that. Some smaller.
Yeah. I mean, they played Boise State. That was their only high-profile game, I guess.
What the heck is that? West Coast Conference. I'm confused. Yes. One of their biggest win is against Boise State. I don't understand what conference it's saying they're in, but yes, Boise State.
Well, they may be in a conference, but they're not playing exclusively conference because they played South Alabama and North Alabama, I think.
Have they? Maybe they are playing as an independent this year. I'm trying to see if they're in a.
Because I know they played North Alabama because USM played North Alabama, and the week after that, BYU played them.
No, they're listed as an independent on according to I believe this is ESPN.
Huh. On the score, they're independent. Let's see who they played this year.
Navy,
they're
Troy,
number 8 in the AP.
Oh wait, yeah. Navy, Troy, La Tech, UTSA, Houston, Texas State, Western Kentucky, Boise State, North Alabama, San Diego State. And that rounds up.
They played a lot of CUSA schools.
Yes, they have. I think they played one FCS opponent as well, so not FBS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My viewpoint on it, I don't think they're disrespecting BYU. I think it's more of the fact of like, hey, you might be undefeated, but you played crap teams, including one that's not even the same Division I football that we're playing. But honestly, like I agree with everyone ahead of them, so I don't know where you would put them anyways. I mean, if you look at every team out of them, they all deserve to be there, except maybe with the exception of Iowa State, Indiana, Oklahoma, Miami, Georgia, Northwestern, Cincinnati, and then obviously your top 6. But I'm fine with where they're at. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah. You keep those dirty Mormons in their place anyways.
Next point. This is one that a lot of people around here were upset about. OSU is actually ranked below Clemson, even though Clemson does have a loss. So again, it's 1 Alabama, 2 Notre Dame, 3 Clemson, 4 Ohio State. Your thoughts?
My thoughts is that it's really funny to watch everyone from Ohio get so angry about Clemson being ahead of them.
As an Ohio State fan, I understand the anger. As a college football fan, I don't. I mean, honestly, Ohio State's schedule up to now has been pretty weak. I mean, they beat Indiana. I'll give them that. But they've only played 4 games, and they really struggled against Indiana. Like, really, really almost lost. Well, almost went in overtime.
The group chat, oh my gosh. Reading the group chat during that was hilarious.
Yep. We've definitely struggled in the last couple weeks. Just Ohio State's defense hasn't been amazing me as much as it could be. And honestly, like, looking at this year's team versus last year's team, I would have to say last year's team was better. And would I say that Clemson this year is better than last year's team? I think it's about even. So I think it's at least worth saying that Clemson's better this year. I don't know. I mean, I understand, like I said, I understand from Ohio State perspective. But again, they've only played 4 games. So
yeah,
maybe later in the season, sure. But
it's hard to justify this year teams that have played 10 games to teams that have played 4 games.
The playoff committee did say that they're not taking number of games into account, but subconsciously you have to assume that they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have to, because you have to look at wear and tear on the team.
Yeah, if
You have a team
Bama
playing 6 more, they're going out there on the field 6 more times than another team. That's going to be more strain on their bodies, wearing them down more. You have to look at that.
If Bama only played one game this season and it was against, I don't know, like a number 7 Georgia, and they beat Georgia and they did it pretty well, do you think that one single game Bama is ranked better than Ohio State? No, because they've only played one game. They've only proved once that they've been a little bit tested, and Georgia's not even that good this year, so maybe that's not a good example. But you know what I mean, like just the comparison. So I think once it gets towards the end of the season more, it'll be a bit more of a conversation. But for now, I'm fine with where Ohio State's at.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're in the top. They're in the top 4, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Close enough.
The other point I had, SEC love. Did you see the amount of SEC teams in like the top 10? Well, obviously Bama's number 1. A&M and Florida are 5 and 6. Georgia is 9, even though they're a 2-loss team, and they're ahead of Miami, Oklahoma, and Indiana. And then you've got some other ones rounding out the top 25. But in the top 6, you have 3 SEC teams, including 2 1-loss teams.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
I think it's earned because the SEC has been a little bit tougher this year than some conferences. Like the only ones that I would say, like Cincinnati shouldn't be ahead of those 2. Northwestern and Indiana, I could see an argument, but who have either of those 2 played? Most of Indiana's points come off of turnovers anyways. They average like 21.5 points, I believe, off turnovers a game. So it's not like they have this crazy, really good offense, although I think they threw for like 400 yards against Ohio State. But, I mean, it's not like any of these other teams are anything to go crazy about, especially Oklahoma or Miami. I mean, all of their wins are pretty low-level wins, and I mean, they both lost at least 1. Oklahoma's lost 2. So
Yeah, SEC's been a tough conference this year. They haven't really, and the other conferences have kind of been hit and miss.
The only other point I had, the only other point I had in that top, in the playoff rankings for now was, do you think they're going to change at all? Do you think those top 4 are going to change?
Let's see. I don't think Alabama's going to change. I think they'll probably stay at number 1.
Sure.
Notre Dame, I don't think Notre Dame plays North Carolina. That's all they have left, isn't it?
Yeah, so I guess the better question would be like looking at their schedules, how could it
That's
change?
What I'm looking at.
So Bama, I guess really the only 2 chances they would have to go down a little bit or lose a game would be Auburn and Florida. Auburn's this week, obviously. So if they don't look as good against Auburn, maybe they drop down to 2 or 3. And then if they lose to Florida, that would be the only chance of Bama leaving that. But I think Bama's pretty much a solid 90% for me at this point. They're going to be stuck in there. Even if they lose to Florida, I don't see anyone leaving them out, unless it was an awful blowout win.
Yeah.
Notre Dame. So Notre Dame and Clemson are the weird ones to me because they will probably play each other again, assuming they make it to the SEC championship game. Kind of depends on how that goes. Clemson loses again, I would leave Clemson out personally. But if Notre Dame loses and they both trade, I mean, that's not a reason to drop either of them from it, in my opinion,
Yeah. Yeah. I think Notre Dame's going to be pretty good for the rest of the season. They get UNC, Syracuse, and Wake Forest, so I don't think they have much to worry about. Yeah,
the UNC is probably the scariest one in their schedule, and they're playing really well this year, but it's still UNC. It's not a blue blood football program,
Yeah.
And then Ohio State, obviously. Though the way Ohio State would get knocked out is if they, I guess, losing any game except maybe the Big Ten championship, they might be able to get away with that. But if they lost any other, I would assume they'd probably be out of that running.
I mean,
assuming that some of the other
they gotta
teams
be
play
careful.
really well.
They got to be careful going up against Michigan. They've been a real powerhouse this year.
Oh, and 1-4. Sorry, or 1-3, 1-4. They beat Rutgers in quadruple overtime, but they have 5 games now. So
Let me see. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that the last game that Clemson played was Notre Dame because they were off, and then they last week got this. Okay, so they have Pitt, is that Vermont, Virginia Tech, and FSU are their 3 left, assuming FSU reschedules.
yep.
So I don't think that they're going to have much trouble finishing out the season either.
No, I don't either.
Yeah,
So
I think we might be seeing that. The order might change, but I think we're seeing our top 4.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, there's things that could happen. I mean, if Florida beats Bama, both teams would have an argument to be in the playoffs still. And I mean, then you'd have to knock someone out. And assuming Notre Dame plays Clemson, whoever loses that game might be out. I don't know, some interesting things going on, but I think everything has to have some sort of stipulation to it. So if Alabama loses a game, there has to be something else that happens. If Notre Dame loses a game, there has to be something else that happens, with the exception of maybe Clemson. If Clemson loses, I could see them being pulled out because they're a 2-loss Clemson. Although both losses would be to a number 2 Notre Dame. I don't know, but in my opinion, I think it's pretty set in stone at this point, unless something crazy happens. Talking about Clemson, though, Sam a few weeks ago had a conspiracy theory about Trevor Lawrence. I today have a conspiracy theory about Clemson and Dabo Swinney. So the last, what's it been, Sam? What is today? Wednesday?
Yeah, today's Wednesday, so they were supposed to say Saturday, so it's been 4 days.
Okay, so Saturday, Clemson was supposed to play Florida State. Day of, gets to the game. All we hear is, hey, the game's canceled. Couldn't agree on some sort of medical protocol. Clemson's going home.
Couldn't agree on them. Hold on, I never heard that. What? I never saw.
Yes, yeah. Yep.
I thought it was COVID.
Well, that's a part of it. Yes, but that was all we heard on Saturday, so we had no clue what was going on. Sunday comes out that Clemson had a player that was symptomatic with COVID, so they could see the symptoms, but they didn't pull him from the practice squad. He was still practicing. He traveled with the team, and then when he got to the stadium right before the game, he tested positive. Florida State was upset because they're like, hey, you had a player that's positive. He was with the team. He practiced with the team. He flew with the team. He was on a bus with the team. Like, he was around a lot of people, so there could be more infected players, meaning they could pass it to our team, and we don't want to have to stop our season because you guys don't know how to quarantine, which I understand. Dabo goes in this big rant, and it's the same rant every year. You guys, I mean, everyone knows Dabo Swinney around November for some reason decides that, hey, everyone's against Clemson. Everyone hates Clemson. They discount us. They don't think we're a good football team. They think we suck. I think you suck for saying that, Dabo. Whatever. But it's always the same rant. It's always Dabo going off because yada yada yada. I mean, Dabo thinks that the Seminoles should have to forfeit that game because they decided not to play them. I mean, it's a mess. And Dabo, you can tell, has been disrespecting FSU and the ACC protocols and lots of stuff in general. And you guys know that I'm not one of people to say like, oh, COVID just shut down everything. We shouldn't have football games. We shouldn't have businesses open. I'm not one of those people, but I do understand FSU's reasoning. Dabo Swinney, here's one of his exact quotes. So it says, this game was not canceled because of COVID. COVID was just an excuse to cancel the game. It's just stupidity from Dabo Swinney. But listen, this is my theory. The reason Dabo is so upset, the ACC, to be eligible for the championship game, requires that you play the league average number of games, which at the moment I believe is like 9.2 or something like that. Assuming Clemson does not reschedule the Florida State game, which they're trying, assuming they don't schedule it, they are below that minimum and they're not eligible for the ACC championship game. This is my question for you, I guess, Sam. If you're an ACC fan, if you're not a fan, if you're an ACC AD or coach, or you're in charge of some school in the ACC that has to reschedule with Clemson, which I think are Pitt and FSU are the only two that they could reschedule. Do you reschedule the game?
Okay, so there's two aspects I want to come at this from, and that is the school aspect and the conference aspect. Well, I guess they're both the school aspect. Okay, so looking at it as a school, it would be hilarious to see them just say, you know what, Dabo, we're not fixing the drywall in your room where you punched a hole in it. We're just gonna let you sit there. Yeah, we're done. We're just gonna you're not finishing the season and you're gonna get disqualified. But from the other side of it, if they go and they win the Natty, then that brings a lot of money and attention to the conference. So there's two ways to look at it. One, they get to put Dabo in his place, and the other way they get money. And I think I know which way they'd probably fall on that.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, but at the same time, that's assuming they think Clemson's going to win, which I think everyone pretty much has Alabama written as a favorite at this point.
Yeah, no.
Could be wrong, but
I don't know. A healthy Clemson might put up a fight, but definitely if they have any more positive tests or any injuries, they're on one leg as it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, here's the other part. You're looking at two teams. So, like I said, there's two chances they have to reschedule. So, Florida State and Pitt, I believe, is the other one. Pitt is 4-4, so they're really not having the greatest season. But with Clemson out of the picture, that leaves Notre Dame and Miami as the top two teams in the ACC. If you are Pittsburgh and you're saying, "Hey, I want to play another game because this or that or whatever," and you're thinking, you're trying to decide whether you want the money and whether you want, I mean, it's probably not that much money to play, and whether you want the players to get that experience. Are you saying, yeah, sure, let's reschedule that game. Let's make $100,000, which in reality of how much these schools make, it's nothing. And let's get our players some experience and give them the opportunity to get hurt. Or are you Pitt looking at this like, hey, if we win the rest of our schedule, we have a chance to go to a bowl. It might not be the greatest bowl, but it's a bowl, and we have a chance to win. If we lose to Clemson, we might be out of that running. If I'm Pitt, I'm not rescheduling that Clemson game. Same thing with Florida State. Florida State obviously has had an awful season. I think everyone understands that. And let's see where they're at. They are 1-6. But after Dabo's rant and the crap he's given Florida State in the last 3 or 4 days, why would you reschedule that game? Honestly, why?
Yeah. I mean, there's no real incentive there to reschedule. You're just gonna get bombarded. You're just giving satisfaction to Dabo at that point.
And I mean, I guess there's nothing against Clemson trying to schedule some other team last minute on December 12th, whether that's someone they've already played or some other school. But still, I mean, those are the two front runners, of course, for that rescheduled game. So if I were one of those teams, I'd say, heck no, you're not playing us.
So you know what, Dabo?
Tired of your crap.
Stick it. Yeah. Well, do we have anything else? Now that we're done.
That's it for today.
We are a bit short. A little bit. We're only 20 minutes shorter than we usually are. So
not that bad.
It's an extra 20 minutes to go spend with family.
Yep. Don't have to listen to us rant for an hour and a half. Only an hour this time.
Only an hour. All right. Well, I'll let you take us out, Nate.
Well, thank you guys for listening. Again, we are on Discord, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, I think it's called, Parler, YouTube. So pretty much anywhere you can find us, go find us, follow us, share our stuff. Like us, give us comments. Again, the giveaway's going on, so you can find those rules, I guess we would call them, on our social media. So you can go figure out how to get entries into that on our social media. So go there and find that. Share our stuff. Give us reviews on Apple Podcasts. do whatever you guys want to do. But thank you guys for listening in today. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. Have fun with your families. See you guys.